was having some Wi-Fi problems. It's up there, so then let a few people get in here. What's up there, everybody? Sorry, I'm running a little late. Catching up on some last minute stuff here. We got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about tonight. Specifically, involuntary commitment. Something a lot of jokes are made about, but it's a very serious issue when you're interacting with the police. This comes into play when the officer asks you, "Sir, do you need any medical attention?" They're trying to bait you. Anyway, we're going to get into that and a few other things here. All right. First off, I'm going to address a few local things. There's a lawsuit going on in Elkhart, Indiana. Civilian X, would you mind posting that case number for me? It's Cooper v. Rizutko et al. 317 CV 00834. That's 317-CV-00834. City of Elkhart is listed as the defendant, or one of the defendants in this case, which just so happens to be represented by a law firm local to me, LaPorte, Indiana, Newby, Lewis, Kaminsky, and Jones. Specifically, the poster boy for them as my city attorney locally in LaPorte, Nick Otis, as well as Martin Coos and Matthew J. Now, the reason we're talking about this is they are recently in the paper as of January 18th, 6 p.m. This is a ProPublica article. The headline is "Long Lost Records Surface in Wrongful Conviction Case, Detailing Lead Detectives' Fondling of Informants." The reasons for the Elkhart, Indiana detective's forced resignation have been a mystery for years. I believe he resigned in 2001, 2004, something of this nature. This month, the records were finally turned over. An attorney wants the city punished for the delay. This attorney, Elliot Slozar, out of Chicago. I believe he's Levy and Levy is the firm. Anyway, he's representing something Cooper, Keith Cooper, as well as there's another individual here. Anyway, long story short, the attorneys for the police department withheld records that would have been exculpatory evidence or tend to mitigate or show the innocence of the individual who was wrongfully convicted. Previous individual had his conviction overturned and received a $4.9 million settlement. They were his co-defendant, Parrish. Anyway, this guy Cooper was found guilty of a robbery in 1996. He alleged and maintained since then that the officer was a fucking liar, essentially, and he accused him of all sorts of misconduct, including, but not limited to, using... Cindy, you don't have a wrench? I have to work on that. Anyway, he accused this officer of tampering with informants, confidential informants, and basically said that the individuals that were testifying them had been coerced into lying, and all kinds of public records. Advocates had tried to get access to records, that outlined, which in Indiana these would be public records, anything to do with a disciplinary resignation or termination would be a public record. This individual was forced to resign. These records were withheld from these individuals for 20 plus years. This cop was forced to resign. There was essentially a bunch of question marks listed as for why he resigned in one disciplinary matter, things of this nature. Now this case has a lot of stuff going on because these records have recently come out, and what's up there, real jingy? They've shown that this individual, Cooper, was telling the truth. They've got multiple disciplinary reports where individuals testify essentially to this fact. They say that one individual or a couple individuals straight up says that they performed sexual favors for these officers, that these officers would tell them what to say in regards to witnessing criminal activity, that they would falsely arrest individuals and convict them for. So the potential for this in Indiana is pretty big because there's a lot of questions and gaps as far as the public records and the opinions of the public records counselor and stuff like that. A lot of stuff questions that haven't been answered yet. I'm interested on one aspect to see, essentially it's like watching game footage. I get to see how this law firm plays out in this case and how they try to fight this. They're representing the city that's withheld these public records for all this time. So I'm interested to see being that my case involves several withholding of public records by this same city attorney. I'm interested to see how they're going to do this on a much larger level, with it having a much bigger audience, larger platform, and different kind of aspects as far as the timing. I had information and records withheld from me and from the courts for about 2 years. I can't imagine what 20 years of withholding records from someone is going to look like as far as playing out in the courts and what sort of opinions may come out of this case. But it's got a lot of stuff going on because it shows that these things come out, for one, in the long run. This dude's co-defendant got $5 million. It was 20 years later, and these fucking records have still ended up, being shown to the world, essentially. And this attorney is, fighting hard for him. It goes to show that this shit's never just swept under the rug that easily, as long as you continue to fight it. Like, this dude probably went through hell, but he's fighting it, and in the long run, they're not going to win. They did all this shit wrong. These attorneys are exposing it. They're calling it what it is. This attorney's, very much so calling it an epidemic of corruption in Elkhart. By the way, this article through ProPublica is basically through their local reporting network, which is partnering with smaller newspapers across the country to expose political corruption and misconduct. So they're exposing all sorts of shit like this. There's tons of articles other than this one that explain a good bit about what's going on with this. But it's long lost records surface in wrongful conviction case. It's accused in Elkhart. It's on ProPublica. It's by Christian Scheckler with the South Bend Tribune, partnered with Ken Armstrong of ProPublica. Anyway, newly released documents show the lead detective in Elkhart, Indiana police investigation that led to a pair of wrongful convictions was forced to resign because of sexual misconduct with a misinformant or with an informant, and the details of which the city had failed to disclose for more than 10 years, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so I'm not going to get into it too much. Just something to look into. It's a pretty interesting story if you follow stuff like this. As well as another one I was going to talk about. We're going to go ahead and do our fuck the police quote of the day. And it is from Police Commissioner John W. Hayden Jr. In St. Louis. All right, so this is a USA Today article. St. Louis cop charged in Russian roulette shooting death of fellow officer, police say. A St. Louis police officer was charged with manslaughter Friday for allegedly shooting a colleague as the two played Russian roulette, authorities said. Allegedly shooting a colleague as the two played Russian roulette. Officer Nathaniel Hendren, 29, shot Officer Caitlin Alex, 24, in his apartment in the city's Carondelet neighborhood early Thursday in the presence of a third officer, police said. Hendren was charged with involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action, police said. If convicted, he faces up to 10 years in prison. Alex, that's the girl, was off duty at the time of the shooting, police said. Hendren and his partner were on duty. All three were in Hendren's apartment shortly before 1 a.m. Hendren took all the bullets out of a revolver and then put one back in. Police said in a probable cause affidavit, he spun the cylinder, pointed it away, and pulled the trigger, but the gun did not fire. Sounds pretty stupid. He probably didn't clean his weapon too often. Alex then took the gun, pointed it at Hendren, and pulled the trigger without discharging a bullet, police said. Hendren's partner told Hendren and Alex that they shouldn't be playing with guns and that they were police officers, police said in the statement. He felt uncomfortable with them playing with the guns and didn't want to have any part of it and started to leave. Hendrick, that's the dude, then took the gun back and pulled the trigger. As Hendren's partner left the room, no name, Hendren's partner is all it says. But before leaving the apartment, he heard a shot, police said. Alex, the woman, was struck in the chest. Hendren and his partner used police radio to report an officer in need of aid and rushed Alex to St. Louis University Hospital. She was pronounced dead soon after arriving at the hospital. Police said Thursday that a preliminary investigation indicated that Hendren had mishandled the gun. Police Commissioner John W. Hayden Jr. called it an accidental discharge of the weapon. The gun was recovered at the scene, police said. They have not said whether it was a service weapon. It was. Of course it fucking was. Nah, it's a revolver. Probably his personal weapon because they were at his home in between midnight and 1 a.m. while she was off duty and both of them, partners, were on duty. You can see where this is probably began. Anyway, they have not said whether it was a service weapon or why Hendren and his partner were at the apartment during their shift. Alex entered the St. Louis Police Academy in June 2016 and was commissioned as a police officer 2 years ago. She was assigned as a patrol officer in South St. Louis. She is survived by her husband, mother, father, and sister. Hendren had been with the department for about a year, police said. His partner also 29, has been with the St. Louis Police Department for nearly 2 years. Today, as much as it saddens my staff and me to file these charges, Caitlin and her family deserve accountability and justice, said St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kimberly Gardner. Okay, so involuntary manslaughter, armed criminal action. If convicted, he faces up to 10 years. She died. Okay. Now, the fuck the police quote of the week is that they mishandled the gun and that this was an accidental discharge of the weapon. Okay. And while we're at it, fuck St. Louis attorney Kimberly Gardner, who is saddened by filing these charges. Now, it should be noted that St. Louis is kind of where recording the police started to get really noticed. Ferguson, Missouri. I don't know if anybody remembers. Mobile Justice, I believe, is the app for recording police that the ACLU came out with. You know, I want to say Walter Scott is his name. Not positive though. Anyway, it's two officers who are on duty, two male officers, they're partners. One of these dudes, they're at his apartment with an off-duty married female officer, and they are playing Russian roulette. And we're going to call this an accidental death and a mishandling of, yeah, it's definitely mishandling of a weapon. I'll agree with that. Yes, civilian X, she's dead. Fatal wound. Now, like I said, this man's facing 10 years maximum. 10 years. She's fucking dead. And I mean, they're three cops. Three cops sitting around playing Russian roulette while two of them are on duty and they're in one of the cops' personal home. Probably with his personal weapon, because pretty much all cops are carrying something with a fucking magazine these days. I haven't seen a cop with a revolver on his side in quite some time. So I'm assuming, being that he's a cop, he has more than one firearm. He's likely a collector. Anyway, this is his personal weapon. They're at his personal home. Two of the three officers are on duty. All three are officers, and they're playing Russian roulette. That's the story. The story is they were playing Russian roulette. I don't buy that personally. That's a nice attempt, but I'm assuming that if this gets pushed, some other details are going to come out that this is not going to be where this woman was, you know, willing to be shot playing a game. Probably going to come out that they were trying to fuck her and she didn't want to fuck, and then they shot her or something, and then they made up this stupid story. Well, Zook, do you know how much profanity you use in the comments section? I don't really care that you don't want me to use profanity. You can leave my page. See ya. I hear Somalia is nice this time of year. Another thing I was going to get to. Yeah, so Russian roulette. That's the official story. So what's his name? Anyway, fuck them. Fuck their stupid official story. It's I mean, she's married, so there's that. All right, so we're going to get to the meaty stuff. Civil commitment. This is why we're going to talk about civil commitment. Specifically, I watch a lot of auditors' videos. What's up, Cindy? And I've noticed more that police officers are stepping their game up. So, you know, they're starting to accept that not everyone carrying a camera is automatically misinformed about the law or legal procedure or what their rights are and things of this nature. Police are starting to realize that you do in fact have the rights to do whatever the fuck it is you're typically trying to do, and you know, they're starting to realize that they don't know the laws that they want to enforce. So as I've said before, you know, if you watch my videos, there's so many tactics that your politicians and your police and your individuals that are going to be upset with you recording in public or doing your public records request or trying to file a complaint against you know, an officer or an agent of a municipality that didn't handle things in the best way. You know, there's only so many tactics that they can employ to sort of try to combat what you're doing as far as accountability and transparency. And these things are to obviously arrest you. That's the number one thing. It's very easy to arrest you, take you to jail, make you go through the process of bonding out, spending money on an attorney, fighting a big long case. How about answering the people's questions? All right. What do you want to know? We're going to take a pause here to do Q&A. You know what? We have a time for Q&A. You can wait. Anyway, I was getting to a point. They have so many tactics. Number one is to arrest you because it's expensive, it's time consuming, it drains your energy, and at the end of it, most people are happy with a plea bargain that involves no jail time. I mean, to be perfectly honest, most people have never been incarcerated. Most people don't want to spend time in jail for something as trivial as recording or requesting copies of a piece of paper or asking to have, you know, their opinion heard on a matter such as, you know, an interaction, something of that nature. Now, lost the train of thought there. Most people being happy with no jail time usually involves them pleading guilty, which essentially encourages the police. You know, most attorneys will not pursue a case that they can't guarantee win as far as a civil suit goes pertaining to, you know, police misconduct. I mean, you got to flat out get the shit beat out of you with nightsticks, tased, shot, something of this nature for an attorney to want to get into it or have some sort of extreme circumstances. ACLU, shit like this doesn't get involved. So the police pretty much have this figured out. All they have to do is arrest you, and it triggers a sort of backing off, a falling back of all these organizations who ordinarily seem like this is what they would handle. And they do. Unless you're arrested, then it becomes a criminal matter. I got a letter from the ACLU. It doesn't fucking matter. I beat my charges. They didn't even care. It was a criminal matter. They do not get involved in criminal matters. So if you can fight all this shit off, if you can fight off the police, the prosecutor's office, if you have all that in you to end up with a not guilty plea, to where you can pursue a civil suit based upon a false arrest and things of this nature. What's up, Regina, James? Another tactic that they typically use when you start trying to hold them accountable is something called a SLAPP suit, a strategic lawsuit against public participation. This is, this is a big deal. I watched it happen to a local guy. I believe it cost him about 30 grand. He's retired. I want to say he told me he had to sell his motorcycle. Basically what he said was something along the lines of, doctors that are writing prescriptions for pain pills play some sort of a part in the opioid epidemic. And essentially he ended up sued for this. This was considered damaging to the reputation of the doctor. Just so happens the same doctor is advocating for a lawsuit that he's participating in against Purdue Pharmaceuticals in Pennsylvania, where he's claiming that he was tricked into, I don't know, not participating in the opioid epidemic for sure. But he was tricked into writing prescriptions for opiates nonstop in what's called a pain management clinic. Anyway. Oh, Mr. Auditor, truth. I was convicted of selling marijuana, which is, as you know, not a drug. And, well, being that it was like almost a decade ago, I'm just kind of asking for my second chance, If a police officer can kill somebody and get a second chance, you think a guy that had a dead plant could get one? I wish you motherfuckers would quit saying that I sold drugs, because you sound like fucking retards. Anyway. Sorry. I get that we're supposed to do civil commitment stuff tonight, but these comments: show proof that you were ever diagnosed with PTSD or autism. Well, what kind of proof do you want? Like, here's some proof, right? Okay. Real jingy. I'll check it out. I go through these and check out the live chats, see stuff that people posted that's actually useful. It's not a bunch of fucking nonsense. Oh yeah, like, what do you want to see, like an actual psychological evaluation? Like, I'm appointed a court-appointed forensic advocate for autism, right? Like, I have a court-appointed autism advocate. I'm the only motherfucker in the state of Indiana to be appointed one of these. And it just so happens, right, I don't really give a fuck what you believe. Like, I'm not about to upload sensitive medical information onto YouTube. Like, I don't know if you know anything about mental illness or having a neurodevelopmental disability, but it's not something that an individual, like, takes on because there's really anything positive about it. Like, I don't talk about the fact that I have PTSD or autism because it's some sort of a, like, fucking Boy Scout badge on my chest. I don't know why the fuck you think anybody would lie about being mentally ill and make themselves a target for the exact thing I'm supposed to be discussing tonight. Who blames, what bad behavior are you talking about? Bad behavior. What do you think I am, like 5? Do you think I'm 5 years old? That you can just describe me as having bad behavior? Like, you're fucking stupid. You're the kind of person that makes shit that I combat possible. Like, you're fucking stupid. Like, you think shit's just bad behavior, and your ignorance about what the fuck you're really like, oh my god. I gotta have some of the dumbest fucking trolls. Like, the shit that you guys try to make sense on my page is amazing. I kind of enjoy it, James. It's like, it's pretty interesting to watch, like, the same 4 accounts have all the time in the world. Like, if I can go live whenever, and these motherfuckers are going to be here repetitively typing the same bullshit over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and accusing me of, like, somehow, yeah, it can be distracting. It's just, it's honestly kind of humorous at the same point. But yeah, you guys got the wrenches. I ain't got a wrench. I got a pin. Do your fucking thing. I don't care. Anyway, we do need to get into this. All right. So, what got me started on this is Indiana has a very, very interesting description for civil commitment, essentially. This is Indiana Code 12-26-4-1. Law enforcement officers' authority to apprehend, transport, and charge an individual with a mental illness. I repeat, authority to apprehend, transport, and charge an individual with a mental illness. A law enforcement officer having reasonable grounds to believe that an individual has a mental illness, is dangerous, and is in immediate need of hospitalization and treatment may do the following. 1. Apprehend, kidnap, and transport, it's called criminal confinement, the individual to the nearest appropriate facility. Be interested to hear what the fuck that is in Indiana these days. I think it's jail. The individual may not be transported to a state institution. Definitely jail. And 2, charge the individual with an offense if applicable. A law enforcement officer having reasonable grounds to believe that an individual has a mental illness may do the following. Apprehend and transport the individual to the nearest appropriate facility. Charge the individual with an offense if applicable. So you don't actually have to be charged with a criminal offense. You just have to have a mental illness. Now, a lot of people would say that's not that big of a deal. That's a fucking reasonable standard, having a mental illness. That's enough. Lock them up. They're crazy. Well, a lot of things are mental illness. Depression is a mental illness. Postpartum depression is mental illness. So, like, a woman could have a baby and to be depressed, and a police officer could have reasonable grounds to believe that that individual has a mental illness, is dangerous. That means the police officer is in fear for their safety. So basically, a police officer just has to know you have a mental illness, and being that they're a police officer, you're automatically dangerous. You know, Even though this motherfucker has a bulletproof vest on and a radio that's like got the best goddamn reception you can imagine. And, you know, his buddies are like probably already on their way, and he's got a big ass gun. You're dangerous. He's in fear for his safety. So, being that the officer is automatically in fear for his safety, you're automatically dangerous. All he's got to do is know that you have a mental illness. And, bam, he may transport you to the nearest appropriate facility, apprehend and transport, and charge the individual with an offense if applicable. What does if applicable mean? That means that this motherfucker does not have to inform you that you've been accused of a crime. Okay? This changes a lot of shit. Okay? Your immediate thought should be detainment. How does detainment work if you're not being accused of a crime? Well, here in Indiana, you don't have to be. They can just know that you're mentally ill, which, like I said, could be a lot of stuff. According to the numbers, about 70% of the United States of America is on some sort of prescription medication. There's a lot of people that are mentally ill on paper, you know, according to the records. So police could essentially just fucking, you know, for your safety and their own, kidnap you. And they're able to do this in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. And we're going to get into that tonight. Because one of the things where this overlaps is I see a lot of First Amendment auditors. They're also Second Amendment auditors. Good evening, Maui. If you're auditing police and they see you have a weapon, they don't have to accuse you of being only a felon to basically disarm you and charge you with a crime. Now, possession of a firearm is a convicted felon under federal law. This is why most convicted felons end up going to prison for firearms charges. Some sort of state law that mirrors this. Federally, it is 18 U.S.C. 922 G1. It shall be unlawful for any person who has been convicted in any court of a crime punishable by imprisonment for a term exceeding 1 year to ship or transport in interstate or foreign commerce or possess in or affecting commerce any firearm or ammunition, or to receive any firearm or ammunition which has been shipped or transported in interstate or foreign commerce. Now, why does this matter? Because 922 G4 922 G4. An individual who has been adjudicated as a mental defective or who has been committed to a mental institution. 922 G3. An individual who is an unlawful user of or addicted to any controlled substance. Addicted to any controlled substance. It's a very loose definition. If you are, for instance, prescribed right now Prozac, lithium, Paxil, numerous other, you know, very common, very routinely prescribed pharmaceuticals that have no street value for getting you high, you are still, in fact, addicted to any controlled substance. These medications are listed as having addictive properties and withdrawal symptoms. By the legal definition, you are addicted to a controlled substance, because controlled substance is defined by the Controlled Substances Act of 21 U.S.C. 802, Section 102. So, if you can be arrested for possession of it, you're considered addicted to it. Essentially, having a prescription and a firearm at any point in time puts you at risk for being in violation of federal law. This is just one of the numerous things that the police can use against you when you know your shit. Now, if you keep up with this movement, you know that police are training each other more and more as time progresses on how to combat this movement. They consider you to be dangerous, threatening, aggressive. You're baiting police officers into acting, because they're ordinarily just fucking great folks running around doing the right thing all the time, and there's just something about a camera being around them. What's up there, Jeff? That they just all of a sudden, isolated incidents just start occurring, and it's when the camera's around the police just start fucking slapping them out of their hands and stuff like that. So the more that you start to notice negative behavior and documenting it and things of this nature, the more that the police have to figure out ways on essentially how to shut you up. This brings us to the next thing. After slap suit, after arresting you and making you look like a criminal and dragging it all out and exhausting you through the complicated process of the judicial system, the waste of resources and money, your attorney basically telling you that you can't ever go to trial. Doesn't matter if you're fucking innocent because you're going to piss the judge off, blah, 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 blah. If you can get through all these things, the next step is to make you look crazy. Crazy card. This is where the threats, when they say that things you're doing are threatening. You interact with a police officer and you tell them that you'll defend yourself. You tell them that you'll hold them accountable. Anything of this nature. Are you threatening me? This is where it goes next. Is, do you need medical attention? Do you need medical attention? I notice that you're not talking. I notice that you're not responding to me. Clearly, you're experiencing some sort of medical problem right now that you need my services for. I'm a police officer, protect and serve. This is them trying to segue into this. If you need medical attention, we're going to provide it for you. You know what I mean? I'm essentially, what is it? The scariest words that you can ever hear. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. That's essentially what the police are trying to do. They're trying to help you. Trying to help you not be a crazy person anymore who is expecting the law enforcement officer to know the laws that they're trying to enforce. Things of this nature. So, we're going to get all the way into this. State by state. We're going to do a couple different episodes of this. Now, essentially, I am not going to be able to go through the exact wording for every statute. I'm going to let you, though, read up on it on your own, wherever you are located. However, I have taken the liberty of locating the exact statutes that outline the processes for the various states. So, we're going to go with assisted psychiatric treatment, initiated court-ordered assisted treatment, and then emergency hospitalization for evaluation in that order. I will give you the state code for each, and then we'll move on to the next, as well as a little bit of the standards, who can initiate some of this. But we're not going to get too into it with each state. Just the numbers are what matters, and just so you have the information that you can self-educate at a later time. That's what's important here. So, Alabama. This would be 22-52-10.4. The standard for inpatient is a real and present danger to self or others without treatment, will continue to suffer mental distress and deterioration of ability to function independently and unable to make... I'm not going to read all this shit. Will I be going to jail on... What the fuck are you... God, you're so dumb. All right. Alabama Code 2252-10.4 and Alabama Code 2252-10.2. This is inpatient and outpatient standards for assisted psychiatric treatment. Alabama Code 2252-1.2a and Alabama Code 22-52-91a covers who can initiate court-ordered psychiatric intervention. And Alabama Code 22-52-91A, 22-52-7B covers the standards for emergency hospitalization, which is your 72-hour and, you know, court-ordered such and such. Alaska is going to be 47.30.755 and 47.30.915, 7 and 10 for your standards for assisted psychiatric treatment, inpatient and outpatient. Who can initiate is covered under Alaska Statute 47.30.700A, 47.30.705A, and your emergency hospitalization for Alaska is covered under 47.30.705A. Your Arizona revised statute would be 36-540A, 36-501, 6, 16, and 33. Court ordered for Arizona is 36-520A, 36-524. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the live chat here. Grab some more coffee real quick. All right, where were we? All right, and the last one for Arizona is 36-524. So, moving along, we have Arkansas, 47-207C, 20-47-207A, 20-47-210A, and 20-47-210A. California, that's 5250, 5008H1, and 5346A. California also has a 5250, 5346, 5201, 5150, and then your basic 5150 for emergency detention. Colorado, 27-65-111-1 27-65-1029. Then you have 27-65-107, 27-65-108, 27-65-1091, 27-65-105 1A2, Roman numeral 2, 27-65-106, regular 2. Then you have 27-65-105 1. Connecticut, 17A-498C, as well as 17A-495A. Connecticut, 17A-497A, 17A-503. Then your 72-hour detention for Connecticut is going to be 17A-502A. Delaware, Title 16, Statute 5001-6, Title 16, Statute 5010. Statute 5000. Okay, yeah. Delaware Code Annotated, Title 16, 5007A, Title 16, Statute 5003, Title 16, Statute 5122B. And then your 72-hour in Delaware is going to be Title 16, Statute 5003. All right. Washington, D.C. Code Annotated, Statute 21-545B. Statute 21-541A, Statute 21-521. Then you have Statute 21-521 is your 72-hour hold. Florida, it's going to be 394.467.1, 394.4655.1, 394.467.3, 394.4655.3, and 394.463.2A. Your 72-hour hold for Florida is going to be 394.463.1. Moving along to Georgia, we're going to have 37-3-1 9.1, 37-3-1 12.1. Next for Georgia is going to be 37-3-61 2, 37-3-41A, 37-3-42A, with your 72-hour hold for Georgia being under 37-3-41A, 37-3-42A. Hawaii is 334-60.2, 334-121, and 334-1. Inpatient commitment for Hawaii is 334-60.3A, 334-123A, and 334-59A1. Your 72-hour hold for Hawaii is going to be under 334-59A1. Oh man, hold on, let me clear this up real quick. In no way, shape, or form am I about to fail to appear for court. I have court on the 14th. If you watch my videos, you'll find out that February 14th is Valentine's Day, and I'm sort of just trying to figure out, based upon the docket, that the clerk of court can't seem to understand, even though she's elected to do this one goddamn job, whether or not I actually have court because it says it's canceled. I'm trying to figure out if my court's actually canceled because it says it's canceled, and nobody informed me that it was canceled, so I called to double check. They're telling me that it's listed as canceled, but it's also scheduled, and what the, I don't fail to appear. Like, in no way, shape, or form do I fail to appear. I have one fail to appear ever, and it was a what is it? January of 2012, and I lived 2 hours away from here at the time, and essentially, I was coming to court about once a week, and Valentine's Day is not a federal holiday. I don't give a fuck if it's a. What does it have to do with anything? The fact that I want to know if I have court or not on a day so I can plan my fucking day out. Anyway. So, moving along. I believe we should be at Idaho. But yes, I'll definitely be at court February 14th at 8:30. Maybe they'll actually want to do something other than reschedule because I'm the only motherfucker in the room that's not scared of being convicted. Okay, auditor, truth. Let me explain something to you. Court dates are considered public information. I should be able to call the clerk's office for anybody's court date and get a definite confirmation, yes or no, whether it's happening. The fact that I can spend fucking 40 minutes on the phone with the clerk of court and her not know what the fuck the docket says blows my goddamn mind. I mean, yeah, literally, you had one job. I'm the one making an issue of. I'm the motherfucker that's making an issue on Valentine's Day. Right. Oh my God. Because I manufacture chocolate and jewelry and I grow fucking roses and I'm the motherfucker that's making an issue out of Valentine's Day. Because it's not a real fucking holiday because only I give a shit about Valentine's Day and whether or not I have court on that day and whether or not I have to drive, I have to travel in the fucking shitty Northwest Indiana weather. It's clearly me making a big deal out of it because I can't even want to. Yes, I know I have court. What the fuck? If you look up the shit, it's canceled, you dumb fuck. I literally have like 5 phones. You think I called 5 people because it's fucking that clear? Like, it's in the video. I'm on the website. It's on the docket listed as canceled. Like, she reads it over the phone. Watch the video. Anyway, Jeff, I believe you said something. What's up? What's up, Jeff? It's not rescheduled. There's no new court date. You can't reschedule something from February 14th, 8:30 to February 14th, 8:30. That's not rescheduling. That's not reschedule. It's the same exact fucking time. That's not rescheduling. Like, it's called a useless fucking docket entry that's made to cause you to fail to appear. This is literally why I'm calling them, is to say, can you not put false information on the docket. Like, because let's say I just took the fucking docket's word for it. Like, it's public record. You have a court date scheduled at 2:40. Okay. The same public record that you're reading literally says ... next to it. Canceled. Reason ... other. The phone calls that I call about are me asking them, what does other mean? What does other mean? Canceled it. The reason is other. I just want to know what other. Is it my problem that it turned into 2 hours of people not knowing how to read the fucking court docket? Not at all. But you really can't argue with the fact that it's not that hard to fucking figure out. Yeah, they can't say it's canceled. They can't tell me why it says it's canceled, or why somebody wrote that it was canceled, or why the, you know, yeah, it's, no. She tried to say that when they hypothetically reschedule something, that happens. This is what I'm saying is dude, I'll be at court with bells on, and I'll dress ridiculous because I think it's funny. I'll probably dress in plaid golf pants this time, because I think the whole suit and tie thing is a fucking charade. But go naked. It's too fucking cold out up here for that. Maybe if it was like July, but it's there is no plot to plan at court. It's, I'm trying to figure out why in the fuck they're trying to make it public record that my court date's canceled if it's not really canceled. I mean, it just seems like they're intentionally trying to make me fail to appear, which has been done multiple times already. So I just actually happen to have some sort of paper circumstantial kind of thing. Yeah. See, and that's the thing, is what they're saying is that it's not the clerk who's responsible for the docket that actually entered the information. Will I go to jail if convicted? Fuck no. I'm not going to get convicted. And the jail doesn't want me in there. So, I mean, I thought about pleading guilty just to go to jail and fucking be a problem there. Like, why not? There's, if you watch my videos and you actually pay attention, you'll see that there's things that I refer to that I can prove that just maybe might not be publicly listed on my YouTube channel. That doesn't mean they're not on there. That doesn't mean that there's not tons of yep, fuck things up inside. Anyway, that doesn't mean there's not shit tons of evidence backing up the things that I say that I know I can prove the allegations I'm making. You could think they sound rude, disrespectful, what the fuck ever. But if I accuse somebody of some shit and I put it out there on YouTube publicly, rest assured that I got plenty of evidence. Illuminati confirmed. Report is a Mason. Interesting. No, I'm not a Mason, but there are shit tons of Masons around here. I should do a video on that soon. So you admit you want to be Jesus Christ. Man. Auditor Truth, I think you're a local, bruh. I really hope you are. And as I said to my local trolls, I'll leave the light on for you. You know where I'm at. Meet you in the front yard. You want some You want some recreation, you just fucking let me know. Anyway, moving along. We should be on Illinois. No, we're on Idaho. So, Idaho code for inpatient and outpatient is 66-329-11, 66-317-11, 12, 13. Who can initiate court-ordered psychiatric intervention for mental illness is covered in Idaho under 66-329-1 and 66-326-1. Your 72-hour commitment for Idaho is going to be 66-326-1 and 66-326-2. Illinois, 5/1-119, 5/1-119.1. Who can initiate in Illinois is covered under 5/3-701A, 5/3-751A, 5/3-601A, 5/3-606, 5/3-607. 500 to shave the beard. I don't know about all that. Best I can do is 25. Kind of like the beard. Then your 72 hours for Illinois is going to be under 5/3-600. Indiana is going to be Indiana Code 12-7-2-53, 12-7-2-96, 12-26-75 or -7-5A, 12-26-14-1, 12-26-6-8. That dash should be there. A. Who can initiate court-ordered psychiatric intervention of mental illness in Indiana? Any motherfucker. All I gotta do is say, friend. Indiana Code 12-26-7-2B, 12-26-6-2B. This is why I don't have any friends. Never be able to commit me, officer. Never get anybody to say they're my friend. Made it bad for business. Indiana Code 12-26-5-1B covers your 72-hour detention. A statement by at least one physician is required. Gravely disabled. Thanks, James. Maybe reinforcing the mental illness thing with the no friends. So, Iowa, 229.14, 229.1, 16, and 17. 229.6, 229.22, 2A covers who can initiate for Iowa. Doesn't look like Iowa has a 72-hour detention one. It's interesting. Didn't notice that. Kansas is going to be 59-2946F and 59-2967A, as well as who can initiate is covered under 59-2957A, 59-2953A, 59-2954C, 59-2958A, and Kansas's 72-hour detention is covered under 59-2953A, 59-2954C3. All right, so Kentucky is going to be 202A.26 as far as your inpatient and outpatient, 202A.0112. And who can initiate for Kentucky is covered under 202A.0513, 202A.0411, and 202A.0311. Kentucky's 72-hour hold is covered under 202A.0411 and 202A.0281. Louisiana is covered under 2855E1, 28, 3, 4, and 10, 2866. Who can initiate for Louisiana is covered under 2854A, 2867, and 2853.2A. Your 72-hour for Louisiana is going to be 2854D3 and 2853. All right, we've got a few more here. Almost done with tonight's half. So, Maine is going to be Title 34B, Statute 3864, 6A, Title 34B, Statute 38014, Title 34B, Statute 3873-A. Who can initiate in Maine is covered under 3863-5A, 3873-A, and 3863-1. Your 72-hour in Maine is going to be covered under statute or Title 34B, Statute 3862, Title 34B, Statute 3863, Title 34B, Statute 10-622A. Maryland is going to be covered under 10-632E2. Who can initiate in Maryland is covered under 10-614A and 10-622B1. Your 72-hour hold in Maryland is going to be covered under 10-622A. Massachusetts is going to be Chapter 123, Section or Statute 8A, Chapter 123, Statute 1. Who can initiate in Maryland or in Massachusetts is going to be covered under Chapter 123, Statute 12, and your 72-hour in Maryland or in Massachusetts is going to be covered under Chapter 123, Statute 12 as well. Michigan is going to be 330.1401. Who can initiate in Michigan is covered under 330.1423, 330.1434.1, and 330.1427.1. Your 72-hour in Michigan is going to be 330.1427.1 and 330.1438. Minnesota is going to be 253B.091, 253B.02, 13, and 17A, 253B.0655. Who can initiate in Minnesota is going to be covered under 253B.072A, 253B.064.1A, 253B.051A, and 253B.052. Your 72-hour hold in Minnesota is going to be covered under 253B.051A and 253B.052. Mississippi is going to be 41-21-73 4, 41-21-61E. Who can initiate in Mississippi is covered under 41-21-65-2, 41-21-67-5, and your 72-hour hold in Mississippi is going to be covered under 41-21-67-5. All right. Last but not least for tonight is going to be Missouri. It's going to be 632.335 4, 632.005 10, and 632.355. Who can initiate in Missouri is covered under 632.305 1. And your 72-hour hold in Missouri is going to be covered under 632.305.2 and 632.305.3. All right. So that is it for this episode as far as mental health commitment statutes go. We will pick back up on this topic on Friday, and we'll go through Montana through Wisconsin. And I'll have a few more local news stories. I wasn't able to sort of get ready for this yet, but pertaining to this and the general subject matter. But wherever you live, it's important to be informed on these kinds of things. As I said, if you watch my videos, I believe that's part of the purposes for the trolls. Like, if you ever read a police report where an individual is charged with resisting, you will notice that one of the things, all right, here's one of the things they train police officers to do when they write these police reports for something such as resisting, is they train these officers to repetitively say, stop resisting. And that's so when they write the police report, they can claim hearsay is credible. They basically claim that what they'll say is that multiple witnesses claim that they heard the officer tell the subject to stop resisting several times, yada, 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 yada. And the reason for this is they create their own witness statements from the beginning. And they basically say that they're insinuating that the individuals that they're taking the statements from believe you were resisting. And that's why they're that the officers had to tell you so many times. But what they're really claiming is that they witnessed a repetitive statement. They witnessed something being said so many times that they were able to remember it. Now, eventually, I anticipate the LaPorte Police Department, because they are unable to create a police report that doesn't just outright lie or expose their agenda when it comes to me, and nobody wants to sue me for anything I've said. Side note, for any of my trolls, I've been running around for like 3 years calling people a bunch of lying, thieving, fucking crooks. And no judge, prosecutor, attorney, public official, cop, none of these motherfuckers have sued me. So nobody's filed a lawsuit against me. So now think of all the shit that I'm saying. It's damaging to reputations, or could be. One simple way to shut me up if I was fucking lying would be a gag order or an injunction or declaratory relief or something of this nature. You know, sue me, take all my money, whatever. Nobody's done this. So, but eventually, being that the first two numbers don't work on me, they got to try the third one. So if you watch my videos, you'll notice that there's a certain point in time where I personally start getting all these trolls who all they can ever talk about is how I should be committed. I'm a crazy person. I should be in a padded cell, blah, 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 blah. I've got a camera. I talk loud. I read all the time. I'm a fucking delusional person because I read and I have a camera and I call it the way it is. The motherfucker lies, I call him a liar. The motherfucker steals some shit, I call him a thief. People that break the law, I call them crooks. They don't like this shit. There's no way to shut me up because I'm better at the paperwork than all these local fucking hillbillies that are involved in the justice system here, and I'm better at the paperwork than, you know, most of the fucking cops. They're writing it up. I literally thought about applying for their newly created records position because they need more than what they have now in their records department. Things are getting busy. Anyway, eventually, I anticipate that I will be apprehended and charged with the mental illness because I'm dangerous individual running around for years. And I know everybody's just lined up waiting for me to lose my shit and get all violent and aggressive because clearly that's going to happen, right? I mean, that's what they've been saying for years, right? I'm a crazy person. I'm gonna snap one day and hurt a bunch of fucking people. And yeah, clearly running a PCP laboratory in my mom's basement. Fucking PCP laboratory in my mom's basement. You know, fucking running around collecting governmental checks, smoking meth. Sovereign citizen. I'm the king of the sovereign citizens, didn't you know? Okay. Being in a school zone in America does not mean you sold drugs to children. Okay, everything is within 1,000 feet of a school zone. It's not to give you more time. It's also a church, recreational, anywhere you go, you're within 1,000 feet of one of these fucking things that are listed under the statute, and it's so they can trump up your charges. Like, I gave a dead plant to another human being. There's no way that you can make me feel guilty about this. Like, A, your entire judicial system is based upon Christian values, which sort of goes against Genesis 1:29, which lists all these plants as for human consumption. As well as cannabis has like 700 or so medicinal applications. So I gave a dead plant to a guy, and I was within 1,000 feet of a building. Dear God. And the police chose to let him go, and then he's basically been moved to Florida because a bunch of people. Right. Again, with the Jesus thing. Jesus would have never sold drugs to kids. Well, wanted God for the creation of illegal substances. Can we get his picture? Have we got a picture for God, the guy that created cannabis? Okay, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear your Christo-fascist bullshit. The cannabis thing, I wear that shit like a badge of honor. Yes, I gave somebody some pot, and I was within 1,000 feet of a school on a Friday night. Do you know what was happening at a school on a Friday night? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Nothing. Like look around. Look at the type of children that you know that America has raised. Like, what, you think they were in school learning on a Friday night? Like, it's it's just the logic of some of the shit that you guys say is amazing. Like, I had a dead plant and I gave it to someone like 10 years ago almost. So I don't deserve a second chance. But these same police officers do repetitively. The police officers that I critique, you know, they just made mistakes and I should move the fuck along, right? It's not like I should base their interactions with me on how they're going to interact with somebody else and think that it might possibly not go well. They just, you know, they made a mistake, move the fuck along. Right. This is what I mean by you're stupid. You think a motherfucker did 10 years in jail. You think with my amount of legal knowledge, I did 10 years in jail for weed. No, they tried to give me 36 years and I wanted to go to trial. And that's why they tried to give me 36 years, is because I don't want to go to trial. You know what ended up happening is I sat in their jail for about 9 months. And I was absolutely not deterred by solitary confinement or any loss of privileges. As a matter of fact, I spent a bunch of time in the law library and I kept sharing information. And when people started beating like real criminal cases from their jail cells with no explanation because they won't take the bullshit the public defender's telling them anymore, as well as you generally don't give a fuck about the jail rules because you know them all. The jail doesn't want you there. I'm the kind of motherfucker that you do not want to put in the fucking jail. Right. Law library does not equal YouTube in the jail. I don't know if you're fucking stupid, but you do not have the internet in jail. The law library is a room filled with books, typically discussing the law. However, in LaPorte County Jail, it is a computer where all these selected laws are downloaded. There's a lot of gaps, some shit they don't want you to know. But just the same. Oh my God, the fucking ignorance is just so fucking deep with some of my fucking trolls. It's amazing. This is why I'm convinced that some of you have to be local police officers, because there's no way that you can be this knowledgeable about a lot of the details, but still be this willfully stupid about it and not understand. What's up, Michelle? It's like, I'm surprised that some of you know how to work the fucking internet, to be honest. Like, it's pretty fucking amazing. Yeah, it's something like 90. 90 is the average IQ for police, 88. They don't want you too smart, because then you start asking questions. You know what I mean? That's the thing about intelligence, is once you start to question things, then you can't go with the agenda anymore. Stupid motherfuckers do what they're told to do. Smart motherfuckers questioning, and you know, risk assessment, analyze. Yeah, police are people too, right? Sure. I can agree with that. The thing about that is people kidnapping people over made up bullshit because somebody in a suit and tie told them that they had a quota. That's hate. Like a motherfucker stops you and just starts fucking with you and tries to basically take your money, and if you don't want to participate and you try to resist all that shit, they threaten to kidnap you, and lock you in a cage. That's America. Like, everything we do is based upon a threat of sexual violence. In America, you do what you're fucking told, or you will go to prison and some big black guy named Bubba will rape you. So, like, most of that shit where you tell me that I'm rude or disrespectful or I'm hateful or what the fuck ever for expecting a bunch of armed motherfuckers to, like, I don't know, exercise a little bit of fucking restraint and learn some social skills. Barking up the wrong fucking tree. Like, these people kidnap you as a job for money based upon a belief that some motherfuckers in suits and ties and these motherfuckers with badges on their chest are special and fuck the rest of you. Call it like it is. You can call it hateful all you fucking want. If you wake up in the morning every day and you seek out to hunt down other human beings to put in a cage against their will over pieces of green cotton with a dead motherfucker's face on it, you're a piece of shit and you should kill yourself. Like, bottom line, if you wake up every day and you want to perpetuate the basic premise of slave catching, you should fucking kill yourself. Like, I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. I'm talking, you know, when I say fuck the police, I mean fuck them. Like, your brother, your cousin, your uncle, whatever the fuck they are. If you wake up every day and that's your fucking goal, that's your agenda, is to go out and pretend that you're some sort of fucking savior because you're willing to do some of the most brutal fucking shit to your fellow man over some bullshit like money, you know, that whole I'm just doing my job thing. That's when you know a motherfucker's gone for real. Is when you're just doing your fucking job, you're for sale. You know, that's what it is. Is the police are bought and paid for. These motherfuckers have sold their fucking souls, and they're trying to steal yours. So all that bullshit you're talking about, you're barking up the wrong fucking tree. I've been there, done that. Police are people too. That's fucking great. People have addresses, phone numbers. So what? Anyway, I was probably not the best place for this video tonight. The fucking trolls got me addressing all kinds of fucking bullshit that I'm above, to be honest. But thanks everyone for watching the video. I see you guys are fucking having a blast in this live chat. To the mods, thank you very much for hanging out. As I said, you know, most people aren't worried about this kind of thing. But again, this is for informational purposes only, and it's not legal advice ever. Just some things to be aware of. Most people aren't worried about being civilly committed. But if you know your shit, and you're able to fight them off, you should be, because it's a very powerful tool to use against you. It's very difficult to fight against the crazy card. So it's better to be proactive and know what the standards are that they're going to be held to should they try to employ this dirty tactic. Because it's very easy for them to take information that would ordinarily be used to help someone with a mental illness and utilize it against them, which is typically what they're trying to do. I don't know if you noticed, but if you call the police for help with somebody with a mental illness, you're pretty much 98% guaranteed to fucking get them killed. Doesn't matter what the fuck, especially if they're suicidal. If you call the police and tell someone that they're going to kill themselves, the police show up to help you out, you know? Like, but, thank you, Maui. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. To anyone who's donated money recently, I'm looking into some things. Not sure what I'm going to do. I found a bunch of cool shit. I'm actually thinking about maybe pulling money in. Found some cool shit, researching body cams. I found some stuff that looks like I can get it to stream to an alternate location. I can have multiple cams going. But I also I found one that's like a fireman helmet camera. It's like fucking, it's supposed to be like damn near indestructible. It's, you know, obviously flame retardant, but it's got a bunch of cool built-in shit because it's made for trippy environments. Looking into a lot of infrared stuff, you know, night vision, yada yada yada. But I'm thinking about actually kind of saving up and building a desktop so I can get a little more creative with these videos, editing, all that kind of shit. I will acknowledge you get a lot of raw footage if you come to my channel. I'm not a techie, but I'm learning. I'm trying to teach myself how to you know, make the format and the interface and everything a little more user friendly. And you know, I don't want to do, you know, YouTube ads or anything like that. So I'm thinking about saving up, you know, everything that sort of hits the PayPal, and I might build a desktop. I've looked into this a good bit. I've never, you know, built a computer, but you know, I've done a lot of research. Fairly confident that I could accomplish this relatively cheaply compared, you know, I mean, at least be a few $100, probably 5, 6 at least. But yeah, might build a computer, might buy a couple little few small things. But the fireman helmet camera I thought was pretty cool. But man, if you go on police1.com and start looking into police body cams and shit, guys, we have got to start pulling money together and get some sort of fucking association going and getting in on these discounted rates with top of the line fucking equipment that you just hit a button to turn it on and hit a button to turn it off, and just like that, you know what I mean? But they've also got downloadable formats and interfaces for being able to manage all kinds of shit that I was looking into. Pretty cool shit. Guerrilla warfare, big fan of that. You know, they got all this shit coming out to utilize essentially in interacting with us. If you're looking for new technology to purchase, Police One's website is a pretty cool fucking website to check out. They got a lot of links to, you know, media recording equipment that's pretty well priced. What's up there, Jeff? See, civilian, that's kind of why I put up all the raw shit. Like you know, I've tried to never edit anything. Yes sir, Jeff, I copy. What's up? It comes up and then it goes right back to just the empty screen with just my picture there. Here, I'm having a hard time finding non-driving ID laws, and we should have a copy of PIN. Not me. Traffic is not my thing. I don't like driving. I prefer to walk. So I don't even know a lot of Indiana's traffic laws. But yeah, what's up, Jeff? I'll give you a wrench tonight. As soon as I get done with this feed, I'll get on the laptop and get you hooked up. Who else is in here that was asking me about a wrench? Cindy, you need a wrench. Firstly, will you wrench me? Yes, Jeff, you will have a wrench tonight. Cindy, you will have a wrench tonight. Somebody else. Let's see who else. Swine can't. Oh, no, James Swine appreciates some of the pearls. I still talk to him here and there. It's nobody's a lost cause. And to be honest, I enjoy talking to Swine. He's got a different mind like mine. You know what I mean? He thinks of things in a different fashion that he's able to provide a completely different angle to look at things, which causes me, in my conversations with him, to ask questions and critique or analyze things in a fashion that I wouldn't maybe ordinarily see on my own. I swear, earlier I was watching one of his videos, and I think I ended up just hitting pause. I was, fully listening and fully with him and agreeing, and I'm like, doing pretty good, and then blah, 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 everybody's CIA. And I pause, and I'm like, jeez, maybe like a minute into the fucking video. But it's, yeah. If he could not mention the CIA thing as often, yes, even I would be able to keep up a little better. But it is a distraction, yes. But like I said, he gets me thinking about things that I might not ordinarily notice. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just what I need to look at and look into more. He often provides a pathway with his analyzation of different statutes and different questions based upon interactions that he has. What is the legal process for this? I don't know. There's a few people in Northwest Indiana that are consistently interacting with the police more than I can fucking keep up with. And they get a lot of unique things that pose questions that I like to research to find out what the information is. So it's just more of that. If you run around calling people the CIA, they tend to try to bust out some unheard of shit on you, and that's when they call me and ask me if I know anything about it, and either I do or I get to look into it and learn about it. It's information I didn't previously have, so that's basically it. But I mean, it is the citizen's job, though. No bullshit. I mean, it is not the government. 1 second. It's not in here. Anyway, it's a case that says it is not the government's right to make sure that the citizen is following the law. It is the citizen's right to it's not the government's duty to make sure the citizen is following the law. It is the citizen's duty to make sure the government is following the law. So, I mean, it's a sad state of affairs that the citizen has had to step up and wrangle in their government so late in the fucking game, where so many things have been implemented to prevent you from being able to do that. This is called your First Amendment protected right to petition your government for redress of grievances. This is almost impossible to do these days. You pretty much got to be a fucking junkyard dog who gives zero fucks to really get it accomplished. you're gonna run into some problems. But it's your job as the citizen, and that's essentially where self-education and being informed, and the willingness to show other people how to educate themselves about the matter is so important, because most people don't know what their rights are or what the responsibilities that come with those rights, such as keeping track of your fucking corrupt government, are. With rights come with responsibility. Most people have abandoned the responsibility because they've abandoned their rights. Part of educating people about their rights is educating people about the responsibilities that come with being informed about your rights, such as standing up for your rights. Yep, we the people have to show up and participate. You can fake caring, but you can't fake showing up. Period. You know what I mean? You can. It's if you want to do this and you want to do it right, and you actually want to take control back of your government and see them work for the people, you have to first educate yourself, and then you have to be able to share that information with others, and you have to explain the burden that comes with that information. We're at a pretty fucking hectic time in America. Most of our government is taken over from top to bottom by businesses and corporations and legal bullshit. Most of your municipalities are basically a bunch of fucking puppets, and they have attorneys who keep them apprised of the law and their business doings, which are usually decided by business partners. So your actions are not in vain, but if you're in this and you notice resistance, that's why, because you're doing it right. You're exposing that America's no longer ran by the people or even by its government. It's ran by businesses, and that's why they don't want you involved. Basically the recording in public, that's nipping it in the bud. If you can convince people that there's something wrong with recording walking down the street, the same ignorant public that you've convinced that there's something wrong with recording in an obvious public setting is going to silently stand by and essentially support the same government restricting you from recording in public places that matter, like city council meetings, the clerk's office, the health department, places where information that should be available to the public is created or maintained or stored. This is why recording in public is such a problem, because there are levels to the public. Recording in a park has to look like the actions of a criminal or a crazy person or someone who's just trying to start trouble, because once you get to the level to where you're like, you know what, I'm going to go start recording where it matters, then you're going to be a fucking problem. And you've already established that you know what the fuck you can and cannot do. So they have to, when you're in the beginning of recording in public, out and about in the bullshit public where fucking nothing matters, where nobody's keeping track of money or paperwork, that's where they have to demonize it before you can get in where it matters. So this is why you get so much resistance as a First Amendment auditor because they see the potential in this. They know how bad this can get for them if this movement continues to gain momentum, continues to do things in a manner and educate itself and communicate amongst itself. Like, the potential for what individuals like myself are doing is endless as far as taking back control over what's happening in your community. The recording in public thing has so much potential as far as taking control for the public. You know what I mean? You're documenting and keeping things transparent and accountable for the public. It's only a matter of time before you take this to where it matters, and then they're going to escalate shit, and you got to be prepared. So you got to know your shit as far as what's legal and what's not. You got to know how to speak that shit in court. You got to know how to put it on paper. You got to know how to defend yourself against a lawsuit. You got to know how to defend yourself against involuntary commitment, because this is what they're going to do. You know, if you're recording and you're escalating to where you want to see, where the things of this nature are a dangerous game. These are, millions of dollars being spent. You're getting into deep water. So if you manage to get through all the legal bullshit as far as lawsuits and false arrests go, you leave them with no option. And that's the reality of the situation. Is if you back the police and politicians and judges and things like this into a corner, they're going to get desperate. And you have to be prepared for their desperation, however it may play out. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I'm getting kind of tired myself. Got a little bit more things to do as far as paperwork goes, writing up some shit. Few of you have seen it. We're still working on that, but this is going to be something I'll get into a little bit more next week. Basically trying to write something that I can pass around. See how it goes after I file it, but hopefully be able to circulate this, and we'll get to that when we get into it. Anyway, mods, thanks. Viewers, thanks. Donators, thanks. That's about it. Trolls, thanks. You guys made this a little bit of a topic. All the officers out there trying to commit people for the insanity of holding a camera and not wanting to talk to the police, who are known to shoot people over having a camera. Thank you. So that's about it. Like I said, next week we'll cover the rest of this. The battery's getting low. I gotta go.